To build anything that truly lasts, it takes time.
Welcome back. You're still watching Markets at Noon, and one thing is clear that the markets are absolutely volatile. But this is the right time when you can draw and frame right portfolios for long term. But then how to draft a strategy? Well, we have a market expert with us to help you with the fundamentals of the market. Joining with us is Sachin Shah, Fund Manager, Emkay Investment Managers. Sachin, thank you so much for giving your time to ET Now. Mansi, this side. There is a lot of sectoral divergence. Markets are watching both macros and micros, and we see a lot of development happening in the tariff front also. Of course, the India-US deal is still under the negotiation, which we all are waiting for. But how do you see the construct of the market at present?
Yeah, hi Mansi. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Always a pleasure. Yeah, so you're right. I mean, we are seeing a good amount of consolidation, but within the market, within the sectors, we are seeing that there is a decent amount of divergence. And I think more importantly, since we're in the midst of an earnings season, so I think wherever we are seeing decent kind of results, if you see whether it was HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, or for that matter, even companies like Eternal and Paytm, Laurus Labs, right? So I know I'm giving names across sectors, across large caps and mid caps. So wherever the results have been very decent, I think markets have rewarded. Markets seem to be giving a vote of confidence over there. And wherever there has been some challenges with the results, I think we are seeing some disappointment. But again, over there, we are not seeing a very sharp knee-jerk reaction. We are seeing that investors are probably going to put it more on hold rather than a sell-off, and basically we'll probably wait out for another couple of quarters because a lot of actions that we have seen at the ground level, in terms of whether it was the RBI rate cuts, whether it is the tax breaks, whether it's the liquidity push, lower inflation, all of that at the ground level should probably start playing out in the next 2-3 quarters, and maybe during the festival season. So probably that's the hope. So I think overall, if you see wherever good results, we are seeing decent traction. Wherever not so good results, we are probably markets are putting them on hold.
Sachin, hi. Afternoon. This is Kavita, and good to have you back on the show as well. All right, so let's talk about big bold themes, yeah. For next 6 months, what is on your radar? I think last time when we spoke, you were bullish on the consumption sector and themes around that. What's your take on the second half of this current financial year?
Yeah, so clearly, when it comes to, like, as I was mentioning, that a lot of factors, as far as macros are concerned, all seem to be in favor of the Indian economy to, actually start doing much better, particularly in the second half of this financial year, which is during the festival season, and and in fact, this kind of festival season is also going to be a little earlier. So maybe sometime in September, October, November itself, we should see decent amount of demand coming back. And clearly, it's getting a lot of stimulus from the regulator side. Plus, I think the global inflation is also very supportive, whether it's oil prices or a lot of other ferrous and non-ferrous metal prices. So all of that should really help as far as the demand pickup is concerned. I think even when you see some of the earnings season at this point in time, I think most of the businesses which are more domestic, they seem to be doing reasonably okay. And within that, I think the leaders are doing even better. So clearly, that's one thing. I think another very big thing is if you see in terms of the selective capex. Also, when we hear some of the management commentaries in this season, I think that also seems to be under a good trajectory. So I think overall, we believe that the current earnings season is panning out fairly decent. and probably the second and third quarter most likely should do even better.
Sachin, hi, Ankur this side. I want to know your view on pharma sector in the light of the tariff threats which are there currently, and I also see significant part of your exposure is there in pharma. How you believe one should navigate for this sector? Do you think it is a good bet at the current juncture?
Yeah, sure, you're right. So basically, as I was mentioning about all the macros being very positive for the Indian economy, but just one big overhang which still remains a lingering thing is the tariffs, obviously. So that's one thing that, and again, the tariffs relative to the other countries, that is something that we need to really watch out for. As far as pharma sector is concerned, yes, we've been fairly constructive on this sector for almost, I think, last 2, 3, 4 years, or maybe even longer. And within that, we have been very strongly positioned as far as the CDMO, the contract research, the CRAMS, or the contract research and manufacturing space. So, whether it's Divi's Lab, whether it's Laura's Lab, we've been owners of these businesses for a while now. And we believe that these are businesses which are like, have a secular, theme for the next 3 to 5 years. Not only China plus one, but even Europe plus one in terms of the outsourcing as a theme. And companies, some of the, all the companies in this sectors, particularly the leaders, have actually established with their customers their right to win in terms of their domain expertise, in terms of the setting up very large capacities. Even currently, the kind of the capex announces that we are hearing from these companies is really large. What we've not seen cumulatively for the last maybe 5, 7 years is what we are going to see in the next 2, 3 years. So I think that's another very important thing. And also third, and which is also very important, is the kind of the comfort that they give to their customers in terms of the respecting their intellectual property rights, because a lot of these companies, they work on patented products or some of these NCEs. So that comfort as far as their confidentiality on their IPRs is also very critical. So I think that's one space we believe that has long legs, at least for the next 3, 7 years. So we continue to be very positive on that.
Absolutely.
Tariffs on that, I understand, but I think it's also a function of the value proposition that this company bring to their customers.
Correct.
If they have a strong value proposition compared to the other countries or the companies in the other countries, I think they will find their way out.
That's right. So pharma sector is in the pink of the health, and the expert expects it to be the same going ahead as well. But Sachin, I also want to understand your views on the automobile sector, both from the global front and the eventual impact coming to the domestic market. Because as you see, the tariff implications, first 15% was announced for Japan, and the latest one is for the European Union, again in particular for the cars itself. Now 15%, that number indeed is very less versus what was anticipated earlier. So how do you believe this helping the automobile space, and do you see some good times for the global automobile makers and then eventual impact coming to India, or is it too early to say?
No, we definitely believe that as far as the exports is concerned and auto components is concerned, I think we have a very large opportunity. Again, very similar to pharma. Our companies have established the right to win with a lot of these customers. They have relationships. They have been supplying the components. They're a lot, again, supplying to large OEs globally. In fact, not only in globally, but even in India. I think there is a very long gestation period as far as the product approvals are concerned. And our companies have already actually surpassed that hurdles. They have the confidence of their global customers in terms of their quality checks. So I think that's very positive. Second, I think another very important thing is in terms of the domestic side, right? Because today domestic still is a very large market for our OEs. And there we are not seeing very great numbers in the last, I would say, at least 3, 4 months in this financial year now, or maybe even the last 6 months. But again, there the hope is that with all the measures that both the government and the RBI has taken in the last few months, at the ground level during the festival season, we should see demand coming back very strong.
Thank you so much, Sachin, for joining at this hour and sharing your views to our viewers. With this, it's time to take a very quick break. After the break, we'll discuss more stocks which are buzzing in trade today.